Hi, I'm Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics 3-in-1 Tree Guard Paint, and today I have my happy helper, Isabel Rose, and she's holding her beautiful, lovely Double Delight Rose, and it's actually been growing here in the garden since the 70s, and this plant was actually introduced to the United States by a couple of growers, and I'm going to go over my script in just a minute, but in the 70s as well. So this was one of the first houses to be growing this here in Los Angeles, California. And Isabel, do you want to explain to the viewers, how does that rose smell to you?
It smells like candy.
Smells like candy. Are you gonna eat it?
No.
No. And again, this is Isabel Rose, and she loves roses, and we'll be keeping these roses for many more generations to come. So thanks again for being with us. Love you. So what I want to share here is just a little bit of history about these Double Delight roses, and it's a hybrid tea rose, and it was bred by Swim and Ellis and introduced in 1977. And its parents were two hybrid tea cultivars of roses, and one of them was a red and yellow Granada, and the second rose was an ivory garden party was the name of the rose. The first being introduced in 1963 and the second in 1959, and it's winter hardy up to minus 25 degrees Celsius, which is incredible. So that can grow in USDA growing zone 5 and can be susceptible, and I'll show you some of the issues that are actually plaguing the roses. Even they look spectacular, and that's the reason for doing this video here at the end of July. But it's susceptible to mildew and black spots, and this cultivar needs a sunny, warm place and can also be grown in containers. It can be used as a garden rose as it is here, and also very beautiful for cut roses as well. So this rose variety was also awarded several awards, one being the gold medal in Baden-Baden and Rome in 1976. It also received a fragrance award in Geneva in 1976 as well. All-American Rose Selection 1977, and in 1985 the cultivar was introduced into the Rose Hall of Fame as well. So the next things I want to share with you, and this entire script that I've shared with you will be in the notes down below, so you can actually read it for yourself. But what I want to share with you is how to actually care for your roses and continue maintaining these beautiful blossoms that every time we actually come home we can actually smell them, and especially if the wind's blowing in the right direction, it's a beautiful rose to actually add in the front door as well as in your backyard where you actually spend the most time. Let me show a couple more things with you. Come over here. So you can actually see that the plant is actually going beautifully into bloom in many places. Here it's actually developing, and then once they're done you can actually see that they're actually turning more pink. So it starts off more as a white light rose and develops more into a reddish dark pink. So it actually transitions into those two different colors. It's called Double Delight, and I would say the reason behind it is the beauty that the plant offers, as well as the double being the fragrance is phenomenal. The only other rose that I'd say comes comparably close would be the Mr. Lincoln, but the Mr. Lincoln is completely distinguishable as a different smelling type of rose. This is a true beauty, and definitely one worth considering adding to your garden. But what I want to talk about is rose care, and the first thing that we're going to be looking at is some of these roses are spent, as you can see over here. This rose has already completed its life cycle. If you actually keep it and the rest of these petals fall off, you'll actually notice right underneath these stems, if I take it off, is actually the ovary of the plant. So this is actually going to form the seeds. If you continue leaving it, the plant's energy and resources will go into seed development and less into fruit bloom. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to pull up my pruners, is we're going to come down, and you can actually come a couple leaves down and try to anticipate where would you want the next growth to come out. And I'm actually going to prune it here with the intention that this bud over here is going to come out and grow in that direction, which is an open space area. And we're going to do the same thing with this. This one's done and this one's done. We're going to come down a couple of leaves down, and again I'm actually looking for a bud that's actually pointed away from the center of the plant. So we're trying to always encourage it to grow away from the center so it doesn't crowd the plant. And here's the third one I'll actually do for you. So we're going to follow this stem down, and we'll actually prune this now in this direction so that it can grow in that open area as well. And again, there's so many stems now, as we get further and further into the season, I can even prune one out of the way. And the end result of this, once it's done successfully, I can show you what it's going to look like. If you come back in this direction over here, you can see that this here was pruned just about a week ago, I would say. If we come down a little further, we can actually see that it's sprouted and is actually now creating this new growth, and it's going to end with, here comes another blossom. So this here is at least 3 to 4 weeks away from blooming into another beautiful rose. The other things that are actually happening in this garden, and we just read that powdery mildew is one issue, and you can take a look over here. You can actually see that we've actually got some whitening that's happening on the leaves over here. If we go in a little deeper, you can see that it's happening on some of these leaves as well. I'm trying to point them in the direction of the sun, but you can see that they're lightening. This is the powdery mildew that's affecting it. I don't have any black spots currently, and here's like another leaf if you want to take a look at that. This one's got powdery mildew on it as well. And one way of actually taking care of it is actually applying a product such as neem oil. And neem oil actually is a product that actually can help to control powdery mildew on your roses. But the drawback and the negative of using an oil on your plants, especially in the middle of summer, just like adding an oil to your own skin, it actually cooks you. So we got to be very cautious to not burn the plants. So I'm actually going to show you how Ivory Organics 3-in-1 Tree Guard paint could be used in conjunction with the oils to actually now benefit and preserve your plants, to give them a longer and healthier show both in the year, and also to give them a longer life in the long haul. Let me actually show you how this product works. So this here is the can. It actually comes in 3 different colors. It's available in both white, which is what I'm holding here, and offers the most sunblock protection. But if you're going to be painting tree trunks and branches, it also is available in a brown as well as a green color. But it's Ivory Organic. It's a 3-in-1 tree guard paint. Just add water, a natural tree trunk and branch barrier protection against damaging sunburn and insects and rodents, for use on roses, fruit and nut trees, ornamental trees and shrubs and all. It's a non-toxic, environmentally safe and organic paint. So instead of buying paint from your garden department, which has a lot of chemicals in there and preservatives in wood that actually can damage your plant, this here is a product that is actually an organic paint, and it's also got organic oils to help offer the benefits of protection against insects, as well as it's got the protection to also protect your plants against powdery mildew, fungus, and a lot of other things. So let me show you how this product actually works. So here I'm just going to take off the can, the lid of the can, and it actually comes with this powdery paint. This is an organic white paint, and then in addition to this, it comes with a bubble wrapped oil vial. And this vial actually contains the oils that actually then protect the plant from the insects, also rodents and the powdery mildew, and a lot of other beneficial uses. So what we're going to do is actually put the powdery paint in the can. We'll just dump that in there like so. And then the instructions require that we add water to it next. So here we go. We're not going to fill up the instructions require that you fill it up halfway with water, and then we're going to add the oil vial. And then we're just going to stir that before we add the rest of the water to the top. And then here we go. And now we've got a full can of paint. If we added only half the water, this would actually turn into more of the consistency of paint. But by the time you add the other half of the water, it actually turns into a watery, dilute paint solution, which could then be used to paint the tree trunks and branches. I'll actually show you one that we did over here. If you come and follow me, you can actually see on this plant, and it's actually created a lot more branches since we started, but this here was a cutting off of one of the parent plants, which you can see, I'll show you next door, but you can see this is actually relatively thin, and we actually coated it with the Ivory Organics, and as a cutting we wanted to prevent it from drying out, desiccation, dehydration, as the plant was actually getting established. And you can see now it's grown into a nice rose. This is about a year old. Now it's got plenty of blossoms. If I can show you one of the parent plants, if you can zoom in a little closer towards the base, I don't know if I can show you, but this trunk is about, I'd say 6 or 7 inches in diameter. It's actually back here if you can see where my hand is, but it's hard to capture, you know, with all of these additional trunks that are there. So, and I'll show you like how this would work. And not that this plant needs to be coated any further. It's now created a pretty good canopy, which is then shading the plant. But if I were to coat the trunk again, I would then just take my brush and apply it against the plant's branches like so. And then you can actually coat the branches like so. And this is a process that can be done pretty much at any time of the year. In the summer, it's offering protection against sunburn. In the winter, it offers protection against sun scald. And then again, it also always offers the protection against insects and rodents. The point I want to share with you now, and what we can do, this is going to quickly now treat the entire rose plant, is we're going to take our water bottle, and this is just a bottle of water, and we're going to just take a teaspoon, or I mean a tablespoon or two of this liquid and just add it to the container like so. And you can see that there's some oils floating in there, so we're going to stir it to make sure it's all consistently in there, and we're just going to add that into the bottle. And then we're just going to close the top here, stir it, and now we can just apply it as a spray. And again, here's the powdery mildew. We're just going to be spraying that down. So you can now see all of the white spots. It'll actually dry up to actually just result in like a faded green leaf, which will actually offer a much cooler plant, which will get us through the rest of the summer months without it actually burning, protection against now the powdery mildew, protection against insects, and so many more benefits. So if you've got any roses that are suffering from this summer's heats, Ivory Organics is a great way to actually get the neem oil and the other beneficial oils into your plants. And again, Ivory Organics actually comes with the oils that your plants pretty much need. So if you have any roses that are in need of care during these hot summer months, Ivory Organics 3-in-1 Tree Guard Paint offers that sunblock protection, and it's got the oils necessary for creating happy and healthy and vigorous growing roses, as we have here with us today. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it, and most importantly, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on all the other Ivory Organics 3-in-1 Tree Guard educational gardening videos. Again, thanks for watching and happy gardening.